The time is 9 o'clock, and you are listening to CHMA 106.9 FM.
And now it's time for your CHMA News. We're broadcasting from Sackville, New Brunswick, the heart of the Maritimes and the traditional and unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq people. Coming up in the next 15 minutes, we'll have your local news, Atlantic update, weather, sports update, and some community announcements.
Hello, I'm Clinton Davis with your local CHMA News here in Tantramar. Coming up, yesterday morning, construction electricians from across southeastern New Brunswick brought their strike to Sackville, hoping to raise awareness about what they say is a growing wage gap. But first, a new Mount Allison archaeology project has begun its first field season at the ancient Vallo Sanctuary in Heraclea, southern Italy. The excavation is led by Mount Allison Classics professor Dr. Ilaria Battillaro and co-directed with researchers from Princeton University and Italy's National Archaeology Museum of Ciritade. The team is studying the sanctuary's architecture, its religious practices, and the interactions between Greek settlers and indigenous communities in southern Italy. The project, according to the Classics program, also gives Mount Allison students hands-on archaeological field experience, complementing the university's Classics program. This is where students study the languages, history, literature, and cultures of ancient Greece and Rome, while developing research and critical thinking skills through the examination of the ancient European world. And now, something very important to the modern world: electricity. Construction electricians represented by IBEW's Local 1555 have been on strike since June 18th after contract negotiations with the Electrical Contractors Association of New Brunswick reached an impasse. The union says about 180 electricians across southeastern New Brunswick are affected, with wages remaining the key issue in bargaining. Yesterday morning, union members demonstrated outside Mount Allison University's new library and athletics building. It's the first strike demonstration held in the Tantramar region since the job action began. Josh Marash is the business manager and financial secretary for IBEW's Local 1555. I spoke with Jeff yesterday afternoon. Marash says with their last agreement signed in 2022, even after inflation hit, the continuation of inflation since then was something that very few could have foreseen. Like many disputes, Marash says this dispute is centered on wages. He says union electricians in southeastern New Brunswick now earn less than many other skilled trades working on the very same construction sites.
We've been off the job for 15 days now, which it has a huge impact for us and our employers. It's nobody wins when workers have to walk off the job like this. Well, so today, just to start off, today was day 15 of our picket. And this is one of our projects, one of our bigger projects down at the Mount Allison building. It's going to be the new library and it's in the field house for their athletics department. In addition to electricians, Marash says plumbers with the UA local as well as the elevator mechanics both did not show up for work today in an act of solidarity amongst the brotherhood. Our biggest issue is wages and wage structure and benefits. Our unionized electricians in New Brunswick, and more specifically in the Moncton area, are some of the lowest paid in the province when it's compared to the rest of Canada. It's the least amount of money out of all or most of those trades. The union said negotiations have been ongoing since last fall, after the previous collective agreement expired. Marash says both workers and employers are under pressure and that their workers do not deny that, but he argues electricians can no longer afford to fall further behind. We try to keep that relationship as healthy as we can with our employers. Okay. Let's be honest, it is a relationship. They need us and we need them. Morash says the strike affects everything from residential construction to commercial, institutional, and infrastructure projects from Westmoreland, Kent, and Albert counties. He said the Mount Allison demonstration did receive support from passing motorists and pedestrians. We had some cars honking and a couple of passersby, pedestrians talking to us today. And when we get a chance to speak, a lot of them are surprised that electricians make so little of a wage. I would say the feedback was mostly positive. Anytime you see a group of guys stand on the street and the public thinks, well, you should be working, shouldn't you? And the answer is, we'd rather be working. It adds a lot of stress.
Local 1555 issued a press release yesterday morning. According to the release, they state that competitive wages are essential to recruiting and retaining skilled electricians as construction activity remains high across the province. The union says it remains committed to reaching what it calls a fair collective agreement. With your local news here in Tantramar, I'm Clinton Davis.
This is Theodore Ramarak with a story about a protest against a gas plant near Center Village. Drivers honked in support Thursday afternoon as dozens of people gathered on the Exit 504 overpass in Sackville to protest plans for a gas plant near Center Village. The proposed project remains under environmental impact assessment review by the province of New Brunswick. Juliette Bulmer was stopped at Tantramar gas plant, says the reason for protesting is simple.
It's always a good day for a protest, especially against an American fossil fuel gas plant in our vicinity of New Brunswick, of southeast New Brunswick, and it goes against everything that is good and decent and healthy and clean, so the environment and our health.
NB Power says the gas plant is needed to provide reliable backup electricity as renewable energy expands. For Terry Jones, one of the founders of Stop the Trantamere gas plant, the debate isn't taking place somewhere else. She lives beside the proposed site.
It cost me a lot of sleep. The thoughts of this plant going in there, the destruction to the environment, the total disregard for human health, it's going to change the entire way of life in our community.
Jones said she spent more than 3 decades enjoying the quiet of rural Center Village. She worries that could soon change.
I like going out in my backyard in the evenings, in the daytime, whatever, and hearing animals, hearing birds. At night, hearing coyotes call. It's not a pleasant sound, but it's there. Seeing deer, seeing raccoons, go back to my husband's camp and see the bear walking through. It's been a very peaceful and tranquil existence out there for the last 33 years, and that's going out the window.
Among those at Thursday's demonstration was Peter Hyman with Seniors for Climate Tantramar. He says the proposed project has implications beyond Center Village.
So this is just a small example of what's happening on the bigger scale. If we stop this one, I think it'll make a big impression on the rest of the province and the rest of the country.
Provincial officials say no decision has been made on the project, and there is currently no timeline for when one will be reached. Before wrapping up our conversation, I asked Bulmer what she believes they're ultimately fighting for.
Health, environment, and democracy.
For CHMA News, I'm Theodore Ramarak.
Hi, I'm Hadia, and you're listening to CHMA.
Hey, this is Pallavi Saha from India, and you're listening to CHMA.
And here's Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update.
France, they're the first country moving on to the semifinals of the 2026 FIFA World Cup in a commanding performance yesterday. France defeats Morocco 2-1 even after French superstar Kylian Mbappe has a penalty kick saved in the first half. And Wimbledon women's final is set as it is Munchova going up against Neskova on Saturday as they are the two finalists. The men's semifinals continue today. Major League Baseball season rolling toward the All-Star break. The Atlanta Braves did double up the Pittsburgh Pirates 10-5 final in that one. It was a 7-3 W for the Mets over the Royals at Citi Field. Yankees, they win one against the Rays, 12-4 final there. Orioles get by the Cubs 3-2. Guardians pass the Twins 5-2. Red Sox by the White Sox 2-1. Detroit Tigers On the heels of the announcement of the retirement of Justin Verlander, they win 4-1 over the Athletics. Marlins double up the Mariners in South Florida, 8-4 final there. It was a one-run victory for the Philadelphia Phillies over the Cincinnati Reds. Brewers double up the Cardinals in St. Louis, 8-4. Rangers come back to get past the Angels, 7-6. Your San Diego Padres lose to the Arizona Diamondbacks 3-1 at Petco. And at home, it was the San Francisco Giants defeating the Colorado Rockies 8-2. WNBA action. They're just 2 weeks out from their All-Star break. It was the Atlanta Dream defeating the Seattle Storm at home 89-78. Fever get past the Phoenix Mercury 92-89. And the Las Vegas Aces with the 88-80 victory over the Portland Fire. The expansion squad now sitting at 9-13. And finally, those who have a hankering for the National Basketball Association Summer League started yesterday. Timberwolves defeat the Pelicans 105-92. Hawks with a 93-66 victory over the Western Conference champions San Antonio Spurs. Sixers defeat the Pistons 101-93. Warriors 101-90 victory over the Dallas Mavericks. It was the Charlotte Hornets 86-74 victors over the Orlando Magic. Number one overall pick AJ DeBonza. He scores 27. Wizards defeat the Jazz 92-88 in a matchup of the top two picks from the most recent draft. And finally, it was the Sacramento Kings defeating the Los Angeles Clippers 91-85. Of course, the Edmonton Elks do defeat the visiting Ottawa Red Blacks 40-17, keeping the Red Blacks winless on the season.
And that's Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update. Please be sure to check out Brian's show on Mondays at 8:30 a.m. for more sports commentary. And here is your CHMA Atlantic Update for July the 10th. Fredericton police say sexual assault and child assault abuse charges against a former auxiliary volunteer are being withdrawn. The man was arrested in March of last year and charged following an investigation by the Fredericton Police Force's Special Crimes Unit. Police say the New Brunswick Crown Prosecutor's Office has advised that the charges against the man will be withdrawn following a post-charge approval reassessment. The man was a volunteer member of the Fredericton Police Force Auxiliary between 2010 and 2015. And a Moncton man and Halifax man have been sentenced to a shooting in New Brunswick last year. RCMP say two people were taken to the hospital on April 19th, 2025 after a person fired at a moving vehicle in Moncton. Two suspects were arrested later that day. The Mounties say a 27-year-old suspect was charged with aggravated assault and firearms offense, while the Halifax man was charged with discharging a prohibited firearm with intent and accessory after the fact. Both were sentenced on June 24th, with the Halifax man receiving 6 years in prison and the Moncton man sentenced to 2 years. And a Halifax judge says the federal government must handle an Indigenous lobster fishing dispute. Nova Scotia Supreme Justice Anne Smith says the court lacks jurisdiction for the Unified Fisheries Conservation Allegiance to proceed with its claim against the Shubenacadie First Nation. The nonprofit alliance argued the First Nations has engaged in unlawful commercial lobster fishing in St. Mary's Bay since 2010 by ignoring federal rules and thus negatively impacting lobster stocks. The First Nation has long argued treaty rights allow it to commercially fish for lobster without federal permits. And a homeless shelter in New Glasgow has changed its name after a request by the family of Viola Desmond. Previously known as Viola's Place, the shelter was named after the late civil rights activist and will now be known as North Star Shelter and Support Services. The shelter has received public complaints recently due to disturbances, thefts, and drug use around the property. Desmond's brother-in-law, Joe Robinson, says the family was never consulted before the shelter was named after her in 2018 and sees the negative attention it has received as a slur on the family name. And New Brunswick paramedics are set to file for colleagues in PEI. New Brunswick paramedics are set to fill in for colleagues in PEI in the aftermath of a fatal crash that killed two emergency workers. Two health PEI paramedics died on Tuesday when the ambulance collided with a transport truck in rural New Brunswick, leaving their colleagues in mourning. The director of the Paramedic Association of New Brunswick says members will be issued 30-day courtesy licenses in PEI so they can volunteer on the island during their time off. Chris Hood says the willingness of so many paramedics to help out their colleagues shows how tight-knit the sector is in the Maritimes. And finally, a 59-year-old man is facing charges as part of a drug trafficking investigation in Newfoundland and Labrador's capital city. The Royal Newfoundland Constabulary says search warrants carried out at 2 properties in St. John's turned up around 7.75 kilograms of cocaine and 1 kilogram of hashish. Police say prescription pills, contraband cigarettes, cash, and drug paraphernalia were also seized. The suspect has been released with charges pending. And let's just take a quick look at the weather while we're here at 9:15. It's pretty rainy out there, and it was a wet walk in. We can expect that today, and you can also know that there is a risk of thunder showers. About 20 millimeters of the heaviest showers expected, a high of 25 today. Could feel like up to 30 degrees. For tonight, partially cloudy with a 30% chance of showers this morning, clearing overnight. Fog patches, a low of 15. For Saturday, the 11th of July. Sunny early in the morning, then a mix of sun and cloud with a 30% chance of showers late in the afternoon. Wind becoming north 20 kilometers an hour near noon, a high of 24, except 18 along parts of the coast. Humidex at 27. For Saturday night, clear with a low of 12. On the 12th of July, happy birthday, Obi. This Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud, a high of 27. Clear, a low of 12 on Sunday night. Starting off the week next week with a mix of sun and cloud on Monday, high of 26. Cloudy periods and a low of 15 on Monday night. Mix of sun and cloud and 30% chance of showers coming back on Tuesday with a high of 24. Cloudy periods with a 30% chance of showers on Tuesday night and a low of 15. Cloudy with a 60% chance of showers and a high of 23 on the 15th of July. Cloudy periods on Wednesday night with a low of 13. Got a couple of local announcements here for you, and then I'll jump back in with checking out some municipality updates.
This is Shashank, and you're listening to CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick.
Summer is better with a barbecue. Join Active Living and Culture at the Visitor Information Center on 34 Mallard Drive for summer barbecues. These are free lunches with great conversation and a chance to connect with the community. They will be held on the last Thursday of the month. For June, the first barbecue will be on June 25th, and in July on the 30th. They will take place from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Bring your appetite and a friend.
Looking to join a free weekly meetup of people interested in sketching life in Tantramar? Well, they're pleased to kick off an Urban Sketchers program that'll meet weekly on Tuesdays from 10 p.m. to 3 p.m. On April 21st, meet at the Bill Johnstone Memorial Park Activity Center from 1 to 3 p.m. And then on April 28th and every Tuesday after, join them at the Visitors Information Center from 1 to 3 p.m. Happy sketching!
And thanks for that, Siley. We're going to run over to the socials and see if there's anything big and important to get out there this week. Checking on the municipality. They have their second business of the week up this week, and it is the much-loved Sackville Farmers Market, CHMA absolutely loves the Farmers Market. We do as much as we can to help support them. We'll be down there. Myself, and I believe maybe Haley is joining me this week, but we'll be down early in the morning, and we're excited. We'll have some information about our new online store. We'll bring out some wares, including our new camping cup. But this is why we love the Farmers Market, because, We love being in the community, and the only way that we can physically get out into the community like that is to be at the farmers market, like all of the local businesses that are down there. It runs throughout the year. You can browse fresh, locally grown fruits and vegetables, quality meat, delicious prepared foods, and a wide variety of handmade and artisan products right in downtown Sackville. It's every Saturday morning, rain or shine, 9 to 12. Bill Johnstone Memorial Park right now, and in the wintertime, it will move to an indoor location. And also very, very healthy nonprofit that's running. So it's not just a farmer's market you see. It's a fully functioning nonprofit with members that make joint group decisions together. And I've had the luxury of being at a few of these, and it's a really wonderful group of people to work with. Tantramar is also excited to welcome Shad Mount Allison students. These are grade 11 and 12 students that come in for a month-long summer enrichment experience that integrates science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, STEAM, with entrepreneurship. So there's a big crowd of them. And when Eric Blaney was here as summer intern, he was very integrated into the Shad students that were visiting, and it's always fun to have groups visiting the campus. I think that's what we'll call for now. There's no road closures or anything like that. We'll move out of the news segment and get into some music. We're just going to finish things up, and I'll be right back with some Rosewater Park. And that was your CHMA News. Please visit www.chmafm.com for more news and to sign up for our email newsletter. Funding is provided by our monthly sustainers, the Community Radio Fund of Canada, and the Municipality of Tantramar's Community Development Grant. If you have a story idea or would like to include an announcement, please write us at news@chmafm.com.
The Women's International News Gathering Service is an all-women independent radio production company that produces and distributes news and current affairs programs by and about women around the world. Wings airs on CHMA every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Oh, Craig Muvasa, we missed the voice. Okay, we got some Rosewater Park coming up with What Time Will Take Away. Rosewater Park, formed in 2024 by 5 music students and close friends, has quickly made a name for themselves on the Toronto music scene. United by a shared passion for alternative music, they've been performing consistently ever since, bringing their unique energy and sound to every stage they hit. This is taken from North by Northeast, which is a festival that happens in and around downtown Toronto each year. So we'll have the track What Time Will Take Away, and then we have a Aura Kogan track as well. Honey, here we go.
Alive.